Hello, YouTube. It's Barbara Jean. I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about weddings today. Oh, by the way, I got my cup of tea. It says joy. Oh, it's backwards, but it says joy. Backwards joy. Um, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about weddings. I've been having a lot of dreams in the last couple of days about weddings. I've been dreaming about wedding dresses and wedding magazines with women in fancy evening gowns, and it's just I've never really had dreams about weddings, and I actually have to tell you the truth, I hated weddings for the longest time because not being married, and I was every time I was invited to a wedding, it was to be the bridesmaid, not the bride. So I really came to not really care for being at a wedding for many years. But lately, I have just been really loving every wedding show I can watch on TV. I'm watching, I put on my TV and I sit there in front of the TV watching all these women put on their beautiful wedding dresses, and they're all excited about finding that perfect dress, and I could spend hours watching this. It's just amazing to me how my attitude has changed in the last couple of years. I guess it's because I've got to that place where I'm no longer going to be just the bridesmaid. I'm going to be the bride. We are all going to be the bride. Isn't that exciting? It's so exciting to be part of a wedding and no longer just be the bridesmaid. So anyway, I've been thinking a lot about weddings, and like I said, I've been complaining to the Lord for years about not being able to see my wedding dress. Also all these women are having dreams and seeing themselves in these beautiful wedding gowns. Well, I haven't yet had that experience, and I'm waiting for my experience. So anyway, I thought it'd be kind of cool just to think about weddings because they're pretty important. I didn't realize how many Bible verses there are about weddings and marriage and the bride and the bridegroom in the Bible. We serve a God who's very romantic. He's a romantic God, and he's setting his son up for a marriage. He's arranged a marriage for his son. And we're all preparing ourselves. We're putting on our white garments. We're getting ready to be married to the Lord. And this is so exciting. Anyway, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to read a couple of verses about how important the wedding dress is to the Lord. A lot of men have a hard time understanding. You watch these wedding shows, and then you see the men sitting there with their head. These women are picking out their wedding dresses, not understanding how important it is how to be well dressed as the bride, in a wedding, because you're the center for attention, and your life is getting ready to change. Your name is changing. Your location of where you live, at least it used to be that way, is changing. Um, you know, there's a lot of things that happen in a woman. Her whole status, her outlook, everything changes when she is married. So I thought it'd be kind of cool just to think about the wedding dresses for a little bit. That we're going to be wearing white raiments. I'm going to read a couple of these verses here. Um, First of all, we shall be like him. When Jesus comes, he's going to be dressed in white, brilliant white, and we shall see him as he is, and we will be like him. But I'm going to read, first of all, Matthew 17:2, and that is the Transfiguration. 17:1. Let's see, it started Matthew 17:1. And after 6 days, Jesus taketh Peter, James, and John his brother, and bringeth them up to the high mountain apart, and was transfigured before them. And his face did shine as the sun, and his raiment was white as light. Okay. Next thing I want to read is I just want to read a couple more. Not that many. Acts 1:10. And while they looked steadfast, this is just when Jesus was ascending into heaven. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. And then in Revelations 2:17, he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh, I will give to eat the hidden manna and will give him a white stone, and the stone a new name, and he which he which no man knoweth, save he that receiveth it. Revelations 3:4. Thou hast a few names even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name in the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before the angels. Revelations 3:18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thy eyes with eye salves, that thou mayest see. Revelations 4:4. And around about the throne were 24 seats, and upon the seats were 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads gold crowns. It's Revelation 6:11. And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. Revelation 7:9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands. Revelation 7:13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence comest they? And I said unto them, Sir, thou knowest. And he said unto me, These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So anyway, just a couple of verses just to prepare the bride to get your white raiments on, get your white clothes on, put your wedding dresses on, people. We're going to a wedding. Isn't that exciting? The royal wedding, not just the wedding of the century, not just the wedding of the decade, not just the wedding of the millennium, but the wedding, the royal wedding of all history. So exciting. Oh, anyway, God bless you. I'll talk some more about the wedding because the Lord has shown me that I'm really here to help the bride, and this is a real dark time for us, for the world. It's a dark time for the world, but this is the time of great joy for the church. We have to just keep our gospel shoes on and spread the word that Jesus is coming, and get your robes on, get your wedding garments on, prepare for the wedding. Because you're not going to get in unless you have your robe of righteousness, which is through Jesus Christ. When you accept him into your heart, when you accept Jesus into your being, he puts a robe of white on you, and you are made ready for the wedding. But we have to also remember to keep our garments spotless. That means we have to be mindful to walk worthy of our calling. Now that we have our white robes on, we have to keep them spotless. We have to work to please our husband, because we don't want him to divorce us. We don't want to have him leave us behind because of our lukewarmness. This is a great salvation he has given us. He's given us salvation. He's given us a kingdom to rule and reign with him forever and ever. Pleasures and joys beyond our comprehension. And we need to show our gratitude by keeping our garments clean. He wants us to be grateful and thankful for what he's done for us. He gave a great price for the white robes that we're wearing, people. He gave his very life. This is important stuff. But anyway, enjoy the fact that we are getting ready to go to the royal wedding. Woo, woo, woo.